I go for some routine inquiries into this corner. From Soundgarden, we welcome Chris Cornell. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Now,
Oh, you have one.
it is. I've got the lot here. Very nice to have somebody who's actually got a record. I love a record. Can I get it out and just smell it?
I wish you would, because I have not seen this. I don't think any of us have.
You've not seen this?
No,
It's a little
you've seen it
bootleg I
before
knocked up
me.
early. Oh, vinyl. Have a sniff of that.
Now, what is this?
Vinyl.
That's a nice, dense quality piece of
lovely.
Vinyl.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes,
Vinyl
it
is
is.
people to see it, to smell it, live it. Very nice. It's the first record for 16 years. Why? What made you? What inspired you to make it after all this time? 16 years. Why?
You know, we got in a room together and we were discussing having a long history of recordings and albums and fans that we weren't really in touch with. And it was our responsibility to go out there and reconnect with them. And in that process, we decided, you know, why not make new music? Because that's the funnest thing. Well, since we're doing all the other stuff.
Making new music is the funnest thing.
Yeah.
Great sleeve this as well. There's a lot of skulls here.
It's evil, a little bit evil.
Well,
Not
no,
completely.
I
There's
believe.
snow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the ancient Greeks used these, I think, Brucranian, and they would hang them on the buildings, sort of the wooden temples, to ward off evil spirits. Is that what you were doing here?
Exactly.
I thought so.
Yes.
Yes, I just checking. It's a great record. Now, I mean, is it different? But you're playing back together now. Do you have a different atmosphere with one another after all this time?
It's the similarities are what are amazing, I suppose. Like it makes 15 years seem like not that long. Like music sort of seems to transcend time when we're trying to rehearse a song that we haven't played in, say, 25 years, and we're listening to the record, remembering every reason why we wrote it that way and arranged it that way, and it's. You remember the room you were standing in and the discussion you were having. It just sort of erases all that time.
And what made you all want to start in the first place? What was it that made you think, right, I've got to do music?
Well, I think we were all big fans of music, and I, for one, believed that if I was good enough and practiced enough and was into music enough as a musician and a writer, that the best band in the world would show up and beg me to be in their band, and that didn't happen.
Oh, so you had to get there?
So we had to invent our dream band, and that's Soundgarden.
Well, you've done a superb job of it. Now, of course, lots of other groups, you know, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, all Pearl Jam, all coming from Seattle. Do you think was that an important part of the city? Did that play an important part in creating your sound and what you were about?
I think we were sort of part of a bigger picture, which was the post-punk indie scene that was in the US, the UK, Australia, Canada. And that's what we wanted to participate in, and all our friends were kind of wanting to be part of that same thing, and that's how we started out.
Of course, Johnny Cash did a great version of one of your songs, A Rusty Cage. Did you meet him?
Yes, I did. It was terrifying. He seemed to be about 11 feet tall, and when he spoke, like, he had a very deep voice, and he was a gentleman, very sweet person, but I was afraid.
Fantastic, but he must have he loved that song. He must have loved it to do it.
Yeah, he was great.
You've also been part of a unique, very special club of people that have recorded a James Bond theme.
Oh, yeah.
Which is Casino Royale. Had you been a James Bond fan before doing that?
Yeah, you know, I was a huge Sean Connery fan, and I was a huge Live and Let Die by Paul McCartney fan of the song. And that, to me, was the biggest reason to want to be a part of it, because I wanted to be on a list that Paul McCartney was on,
That's right.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, well, the list with loads of them, Adele, Louis Armstrong, you name it, John Barry. Did you know where the 007 comes from?
No.
Well, Ian Fleming lived in Kent, and the bus, I think this is it, from Dover to Deal or from Dover to London was the 007.
Really?
Yes.
Is that true, or
yes, as
really?
true as anything is true-ish, you know. Do you have any James Bond gadgets that you take on tour with you? Or?
Just a respirator.
Is there any James Bond gadgets you'd like to take on tour with you?
I would settle for it. It doesn't have to have the gadgets, but just the original Aston Martin that he drove out. Just to have that would be great. It doesn't have to have any bells or whistles, just the original one. I tried to get one when I wrote the song, tried to make that part of the bargain. And
they said no.
Yeah, right, just that quickly, too.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Well, it's been great having you here. The band is sounding marvellous. Thank you for joining us. Chris Cornell. Great to see you. Thanks very much. Taree from their King Animal LP. Now we finish where we started with Soundgarden.